You are listening to the Built to Grow podcast.
All right. Welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast. I am your host, Tim Lyons, in studio, Scottsdale, Arizona. Joined, as always, by Randy Angston. What's up, guys?
How we doing?
Doing good, guys. Big, huge, giant announcement. You're going to want to head over to winninggym.com/Scottsdale. We have officially locked in our dates for the event, the Grow Summit in person. We're going to be the first. We're gonna blaze the trail.
Yeah.
Out here in Scottsdale, May 21st, 22nd, an event that you will never forget.
Ooh.
The what is it? What do we call it?
Fit Pro Growth Summit.
Yep, winninggym.com/Scottsdale. You're going to fly out here for 2 days. We're going to have food, drinks, laughter, presenters.
Yeah, we've got speakers. Oh, yeah. Like it's an actual event, too.
Yeah.
It's a great time.
Our last one was in 2019. If you guys remember 2019, we did an invite only, 50 gym owners. This year we're going to open it up to 100 gym owners. Last year we had to do it virtually, so that's when we did the 30 speakers on the virtual event. That was awesome, but nothing like being in person.
This event was, we've been to a ton of them, seminars and events and things like that. I loved the value of everybody who spoke, brought something.
Big time.
The networking between gyms and gym owners. It was the environment where a rising tide raises all ships. You saw it happening
in real time,
just from the conversation everywhere. Everybody was in like the same group. You know what I mean? Like it was we're in the same boat. We all benefited from the same things, and it was so great to watch it kind of level everything.
It was great. So if you were in attendance in 2019. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what you thought, what you liked about the event, and just spread the word, right? We're only doing 100 seats to this event. Last time it was 50. We're going to go to 100. I got a big, giant ballroom at the Marriott. It'll be at the same location. The food was great. Drinks, the networking. That was the whole point of the thing, was to network and to meet people. Get out there and spread the word. We're going to have a tiered pricing system.
Yep.
So like the first, 25 tickets are going to be the cheapest. And it's just going to go up from there all the way to the event until we get to sold out. Last year we sold out almost a month before the event. We were sold out. So get ready for that. We're pumped. We're lining up the speakers now, and we got some big names we're going to go after. And, it's going to be one of those deals. And I tell this to everybody. It's like, I know it was our own event, but I got to be, it was awesome. It was better than any event that I've ever been to.
Absolutely. In my opinion, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it was awesome. So anyways, we're obviously patting ourselves on the back, but ask any of the 50 other gyms that were there. They'll tell you the same thing. It was awesome. So that's the announcement. So for this episode, guys, this is coming up over and over and over, switching to semi-private. Guys, we have a switch to semi-private coaching program. We'll put our flag in the ground, but that's what we're doing with our clients right now. We've got 5 coaching clients right now, and all of them are switching to semi-private. Yep. And so we've got this thing nailed down. One of the questions comes up all the time is, how do I sell semi-private? I don't know how to sell semi-private. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to market for it. I don't know how to get somebody to sign up for it. I do boot camps, or I do one-on-one training, or I do other things, but I don't know how to sell semi-private. And so if we're going to talk about this as a topic for this episode, we got to really take a giant step back first, and we have to look at a couple things. If you don't have semi-private training right now, and let's just say you have boot camp, okay, and you market for boot camp, what are the things that you're saying that the end user will ever really understand what the actual workouts are going to be? There's really nothing that you're telling them in the marketing that says, we're training in a large group atmosphere with metabolic training and high heart rates, and we're here for fat loss and all these things, and the music's high, and we've got heart rate monitors on, and we do circuits for 30 seconds on and 20 seconds off. And, you don't ever even talk about that. So if you were to have somebody walk in your gym today and you just sold them into a result, and that result got delivered by semi-private training, what would be any different about what you do now to what you would do to sell semi-private?
Absolutely.
I would argue probably nothing. Nothing. So there's no difference between selling semi-private training than there is to large group training.
As long as you understand what it brings to the table, the benefits, what you're selling in general.
So to take off this fear out of the equation, it's no different than what you're doing now. It's just the service that you offer once they want the results. So let's take it a little deeper in now. So that's the first step back. Let's take a little deeper in. Let's just say you offer large group training like we do and semi-private training, which we are very, very limited on our large group. I think we're pretty much done with it now. We have very, very few sessions now, mostly semi-private training. When somebody comes in, everybody out there, you're doing consultations with people.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. There's some people that they come in, they do a class, and they sign up at the end, and they never really have a consultation. But that would be
that'd be a class.
That would be like the opposite of what that would be the opposite of what we teach. Right?
Correct.
We want to get to know the client. We don't want to just be a place where somebody comes and works out.
It's a class-based business. I could only imagine that in a large boot camp, high intensity style environment.
Come do a workout and then sign up at the end. Yeah, free session, right? Free class. So if you offer both, when you have somebody come in and they sit down and you ask them, like, what are your goals, right? That's a question, pretty common question.
Yeah, I hope.
What do you want out of your fitness program? Well, they're going to tell you a couple things. I want to lose weight. I want to lose body fat. I want to tone. I want to build muscle. I want to feel better. I want to have more energy. I don't want to hurt anymore. All these things come up. And if you were to look at your two services of large group versus semi-private, what would you say are the results that people get in your large group training?
Fat loss,
muscular endurance,
cardiovascular endurance. Yeah.
Right. And then if somebody says, "Hey, I want to build muscle," how would you sell that into what? I guess the point is, if somebody wants to build muscle in your boot camps or your team training, that's not the result of the style of the workouts that you do. How can you feel good at all about putting them into your boot camps anyway?
You're doing them in injustice. I mean, you're literally prescribing the wrong fix.
Yeah. So now, granted, most people need to lose weight. That's the American situation.
Yeah.
That's the current situation. But if you had semi-private training, and let's be very clear, the two services have to look, act, feel, smell, taste different. You can't have semi-private training that's the same thing as large group training with less people. You can't sell that. You can't do it that way because nobody's going to pay more for that. If they're in your semi-private and they look across the gym and they're looking at everybody doing the same thing, there's just more people over there.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to pay more for that. So they have to be different programs. And the way you train has to be different. The programming has to be different. The pace has to be different. And, of course, the amount of people has to be different. The way we sell our semi-private training is we get the goals from the client, and we tell them, like, look, in order to get to that result, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and that's all within our program. And it's done in a semi-private atmosphere. They don't need to know what is done in the session. They don't need to know what the workout itself looks like. They just need to know the result they're going to get from being in that group. So
absolutely. It says it's selling the sizzle, not the steak, right? It's the client marketing down from that point all the way through. You don't necessarily, like you said, you don't talk about that in the ad. You don't talk about period. Undulating periodization and progressive overload, like the science behind it. No, nobody cares. What they care about is the benefit to them, how they're going to feel, the result. That's what, and then all the way back. The sales conversation is that. The logic comes in when the objections come up or they...
Yeah, and sometimes, and I've been in more starting points recently and consultations recently. We got to do one after this, actually. Whatever. But the conversation comes up like, hey, your goals, Mrs. Johnson, you said you wanted to feel better, move better. You wanted to put some muscle mass and get stronger. Those are the things you want to do. In order to do that, we need to break down the muscle tissue, and we do that using, resistance.
Yeah.
Resistance done in our semi-private atmosphere. Basically, you're selling, the time with the coach and the program around it. They don't need to know that they're doing deadlifts for 5 sets of 5. And if you can't do a deadlift, we're going to use a kettlebell, like a barbell. We're going to use a kettlebell. They don't need to know any of that. You just need to sell them the result they're going to get, and it's delivered in a semi-private atmosphere. Hopefully that makes sense.
I would go even one step further, because it's not just sell them that, it's prescribe it.
Yes.
They're coming to you because you're somebody of influence in the health and fitness realm. Right?
Expert.
The expert. Like we talk about in marketing, right? How do you level yourself up against competition? You become the expert in your area. Once you're that expert, that's why somebody's sitting in there listening to you tell them what they need for that result. It's like coaching your clients, your job is to prescribe what they need for that result.
Very good point. Yep.
And so, it's not a sale. It's not like you're trying to convince somebody. You're literally delivering exactly what they need.
In order to get this result, I recommend you do 3 sessions a week in our semi-private. We need to get you nutrition, and we need to take these supplements.
Absolutely.
How's that sound?
Absolutely.
Right. You're telling them, right?
Yes.
You can't ask the question, how many times a week do you want to work out? Like, you can't ask that as the salesperson in a consultation.
Shouldn't be.
You can't.
Yeah.
Well, you can't, because that's not, they're coming to you for the answer, not for them to tell you what the answer
Yes.
is. You need to tell them, I need you in here 3 days a week. And we call it our doctor close, and we have a whole process around the doctor close. If you think about when you go to a doctor's office, usually what happens is you go in, you check in at the front desk, and then you sit your ass on the couch
for 4 hours.
For 4 hours and wait for the doctor. What does that do? What is your mindset when you're? I mean, it pisses me off when they're not on time. Like, you don't respect my time. But that's not the point. What's happening is they're framing the situation as the doctor is the expert.
The expert.
They are better than you. You have to listen to them. And not that you want to belittle anybody or any of that, but it's pretty funny when you go to a doctor's office. At least my parents, I would say I'm a little bit more skeptical around doctors myself.
Absolutely.
But my parents will go to a doctor and take whatever he says because he's the doctor. And I know it's a generational thing, but at the end of the day, they're there to listen to the doctor and do what the doctor's orders. Right?
Yeah.
Doctor's orders, I got to do this, right? I got to take these drugs or whatever it is that they prescribe. Same thing goes for when they're in there with the fitness director or sales director or whoever it is. You're the person that's going to recommend the solution or the prescription for their issue. And their issue is they want to get stronger. I recommend you do our semi-private for 3 days a week, and that's why, and here we go, and when can you come in?
You can think about it too. As you were saying it, and kind of the generational thing, I was thinking about like older sales. I could have totally imagined like, the appliance store.
Yeah.
They weren't sitting there just waiting for you to tell them what you wanted. They were selling. They were telling you, hey, this is my problem. Oh, the wife is manually washing dishes. I'm going to make your life so much better. I'm going to sell
here's what you need.
The solution. This is a need. Here is the result. You believed them because they, again, some level of authority comes into play, right? They're the expert in this area. Dude, he's got every washing machine here. This is the one that is going to solve all our problems.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, the marketing that we discussed, like, it's the same thing. The influence. I think that it runs all the way down to your workouts should be the same exact way when you're instructing your clients. You're not sitting there letting your client work out in front of you and counting reps.
Or you don't let the client tell you what they want to do today.
Exactly. Who's driving the ship?
Okay. I don't want to do those deadlifts. Okay, well, let's do these instead. No, they're there. You have to understand. Coaches, fitness coaches, personal trainers, you are the expert. And if you believe in a particular way to train your clients is going to get them the result, then it's your duty to get them to do that. Of course, they're going to bitch and moan every once in a while.
It's part of the job.
It's hard. Yeah, I know, but we need you to push through these and get these done because, if you truly care about your clients' results, then you won't let that stuff happen to you. You don't let it happen to you because it's going to come at you and you're going to have conversations and people aren't going to want to do stuff, but if you believe that it's in their best interest to do this, If you believe that semi-private training is going to get them the result that they are sitting in front of you, then it's your duty to tell them that that's what they need to do.
I love that.
It's not a suggestion. It's not a, can you afford it? Or if it wouldn't be nice if you could come in 3 days a week, but you can only come in once. So you have to prescribe the solution. And really think about it like we said, the doctor, but you're at your position of authority. And it also comes back to the mindset of the person selling. So if the person selling doesn't believe in your product and you think boot camp's way better than semi-private training, you're going to have a tough time selling semi-private training. So you got to get your mind right. Get your mind right to understand. You have to get your mind right that semi-private is the solution. If you don't believe it's the solution, you have a tough time selling it. We believe it's the solution. We believe that semi-private training for gyms, the model, is the best solution to carry you into the future. I don't believe large group boot camp training is the gym model of the future. I don't think it's the gym model of the next 2 years. I don't think it's definitely not going to be 10 years.
I think it's already on its
last
decline.
leg. And there's so many reasons for that. It's so many reasons, and we've hit on them a million times, so we're not going to get into it. We really believe semi-private training is the way to go. And if you want to change your gym to semi-private, you need to get on the phone with us. That's your prescription.
There you go.
pfmarketingsolutions.com/call. Randy will show you all the reasons why. And when you join our coaching program, I'm going to hold your hand and get you to the finish line so that when you have that conversation, this question that comes up, how do I sell semi-private training, never enters the equation. It's all you sell. And that's why people are walking in, is because they know that you're the best at doing this. And they're not there necessarily for semi-private training. They're there for a result.
Yes.
And you're prescribing the semi-private to them. So take that. Jump on a call with us, guys. We're taking on some new clients. We're just phasing out the last couple here, and we'll be able to help you and guide you along the path to prosperity.
Yeah, a better life, a better way.
All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Go do this. Let us know how it goes, and then also check out winninggym.com/Scottsdale. Ticket sales are going to be live here any minute. So talk to you soon.
Yes.
Bye.